In addition to sharing your designs like this that we saw in the previous lecture, as of November 2017, there is an amazing new feature that allows you to share this, especially with developers, so developers know exactly what they are supposed to take out of your designs. And by this, I mean that they are going to get the information that they particularly want and need. So this new feature is also in the sharing button in the top right corner, and it's currently in beta, but it works very well. It is called Design Specs. So notice that you now have the option still to polish the prototype, but also to polish your design specs. So again, I am going to set a title, and I'm going to leave the units to be based on iOS. Again, if you have more artboards, you may be able to change this. Right now, it's just set to the artboards that I've been using, and I'm going to create a public link. Once all of the resources have been uploaded, all you have to do is click on Open Link. And let me just move this into this screen. This is going to be opened. And the important thing here is notice that as I select one of the artboards, now I not only see the colors and the character styles being used, but if I select another one that has a bit more information, I have all of the colors that exist inside of that artboard. And notice that as I hover over the colors, I know exactly where these colors are being used. This is again super important, especially for developers when they are starting to develop the application that you have designed. They can simply come over here, hover over the colors, know their values, their hexadecimal values, select them, the color is copied so they can use them in whatever IDE they are using, and know exactly in what elements they are supposed to use that color. And the same for the characters, the character styles. They can select one of the fonts and the name is going to be copied again, so they can easily get the information from this font with the size and the color and the font style, the actual font style, and use them on their IDE. And again, know exactly where they are supposed, what elements they are supposed to set these styles to use. And what may be even a little bit more important is that anyone can come to your design and select any of the elements, hover over the element and know its width and its height. But notice that as I hover over the edges, I now know also their margins. That, by the way, I have wrong margins in here because to the left I have 22 and to the right 24, but you get the idea. You now have the margins that your developers have to use on your designs. And notice that to the right, I have some more information about the image, about its width and its height, of course, but also where, in what coordinates is this positioned, and if they have any angle, if they are tilted in any way, what is their opacity, and if it has shadow, if it has blur in the shadow. And these will apply to any of the elements. So if I select a text, the settings that apply to this particular text and corresponding to the type of element that I have just selected also appear. So I now see what style for the font is being used and what size the font is and its alignment and everything. And the same if I select, for example, one of the rectangles, I know its appearance with, in this case, what corners are rounded and with what value, in this case, for example, 7, 0 for the top right corner and 7 for the rest. The color and the opacity again. So this becomes a very useful tool, especially for developers again, for you to share with. And let me quickly head back to Adobe XD and show you something else. Let me head back to that sharing button and notice that now you also have a Manage Published Links button. In here, you will not only have access to all of the prototypes that you have shared, that you shared in particular in the previous lecture, but also now design specs. So notice that I have a lot of prototypes that I have shared over the past few months. And now that design specs are new, I am able to share a new design spec. Notice that they are labeled prototypes. Pretty much every single one of them are prototypes, except for this new one that I have just created that is a design spec. So from here, you also have quick access to every single one of the designs that you have shared, whether as prototypes, like we just did in the previous lecture that I actually have right here, this prototyping here, or as design specs, so your developers or other designers can know exactly what you are creating in here.